As future teachers, we're all too familiar with the topic of standardized testing. Unfortunately, as current college students, we have all had personal experience with standardized testing from a student's point of view. And soon, we will be teachers dealing with standardized testing. So from a student's point of view, we know standardized testing is no fun, and we know how big of a deal it is. And from a future teacher's point of view, we also know the struggle of not teaching to the test, but teaching to the whole child. So I had these opinions from a student and future teacher down, but I wanted to know, how do parents feel about standardized testing? Do they want the testing to stop? And if they did, what needs to be done to stop the test? I started my research by first finding a parent whose child takes standardized tests. So I interviewed my sister, who has a 6th grader. My sister also happens to work as a teacher assistant at Williams Elementary School in Austin. I first asked my sister how she felt about standardized testing as a parent. She said she understood the importance of testing the children to make sure that they are where they need to be academically, but she feels that there should be a better way of finding that information. She says that she sees how nervous, stressed, and sick the kids are at work when it is testing time. She says that she feels bad for the kids because not all of them are good at testing, but it doesn't mean they don't know the information. With the opinions of my sister and mine, I started doing some basic internet research and quickly found great amounts of information on standardized testing. With a simple Google search, I was led to multiple Facebook pages dedicated to people against standardized testing, including one page titled, "Parents and Kids Against Standardized Testing." This page provided multiple articles and videos talking about the different aspects of standardized testing. This page led me to large amounts of information, and I learned that there are many parents in America right now who are not happy about standardized testing, and they are doing something about it. After watching multiple videos and reading a handful of articles, I learned that standardized testing really started to become a problem when former President George W. Bush created the No Child Left Behind Act, which was to ensure children were learning what they needed to know. In theory, this seemed like a great idea, and after listening to multiple opinions on the subject, many agree that the intent behind standardized testing is great, but the way it is being carried out is not so great. My research led me to a video from CNN titled, "Parents Opt Out of Standardized Tests." After watching this video, I learned about one major thing parents are doing to stand up to standardized testing. In the last few years, parents have begun to opt out their children from taking the standardized test. Before doing my research, I had never heard of parents opting out their students from taking their standardized test. As I learned more about parents opting out their children, I found that over the years, this has become increasingly popular. But as more parents opt out their children, consequences are following these decisions. Some consequences they may face are their schools getting less funding. So when parents debate over opting their child from standardized testing, they must also weigh the consequences they may face in return. With this newfound information, it only created more questions for me. I wanted to know what this opting out looked like for a school from the perspective of an administrator from a local school. So I contacted Erica Ramirez, the assistant principal of Williams Elementary in Austin. I conducted a short interview asking how she felt about standardized testing, and she said she understands the importance of standardized testing and that there needs to be bars set so students can successfully do well, but that standardized testing does not present an even playing field. She sees that students come with different levels of academics for different reasons, but are then held to the same standards of students who have had those needs met. I then asked if parents at Williams opt out their students, and she said that none of the parents there do that. But if parents did choose to opt their students, it is most likely because of the anxiety their child faces with the possibility of failing the test. Ramirez was not exactly sure of the district policy because they haven't had to face that yet in Austin, but she has heard that other states are mandating their students attend summer school if they fail to take the test. Lastly, I asked Ramirez if she thought parents could stop standardized testing, and she strongly believes that parents could stop standardized testing, but they just do not fully understand the system or how to navigate it. and they may be intimidated, but those who do know how to navigate the system are doing something about it, and that is why it has come up on the radar. I learned teachers, students, parents, and administrators are not happy with standardized testing. I learned that slowly, parents are doing something about stopping standardized testing. I learned that parents have all the power in this situation. They just may not know enough about how to stop it, or they may be intimidated by all of it. With this search, I learned of many different ways to find information on my own. I interviewed someone I didn't know personally for the first time, and it was a great experience. I liked being able to do online research and then taking what I learned and go further with it and ask the opinions of someone on the topic. I plan on taking what I learned and educating parents who are interested in stopping standardized testing. I feel that many parents, specifically parents at Williams Elementary, do not know they have the option of opting their children out of the test. I think this is the kind of knowledge that can create major change.